Morning, live from Atlantic City. I am Leather Rokk. Welcome to my channel. So I guess I'm live this morning. Where's my Trumpers at? Did you guys catch the State of the Union address last night? Did it seem like our Commander-in-Chief's got some pep in his step? Boy, I'm telling you, I don't know what conspired between him and his son, but boy, he seemed like he was really well versed on his teleprompter. And I even admit now, I'm a Trumper, I'm Republican, but I'm maybe more rhino-ish than the rest of you guys. But I actually thought that there was some things. Drums, good morning. I actually thought some things in his speech was pretty good. I would hope that people would see through some of the smoke and mirrors here, especially when he tries to talk about how good the economy is. I don't know about you guys, but I don't see a good economy. I don't see a good economy. They talk about credit card debt. My mother never used to carry a credit card balance. Now she has a balance. Things are not easy in my world. Yeah. So just wake up, take a piss, and you are. Well, yeah, the reason why I'm up is I stayed up to film a video. I couldn't film last night after dinner time because the Spanish church was downstairs and they were real loud. And I, of course, watched the president. And then I actually got a little bit of rest. I used my computer to do things, run different programs, and some of them are video programs that when the ads run, I get a little bit of money. And I had my mother make sure that I was aware of something to do a little something. And then I got some rest. And then I realized, oh, I woke up, I smeared half my makeup off and said, I have to go and do a certain video that I did. And then after I did that, I said, you know what? Why don't I go live? So I'm live. Um, yeah. It's just it's really oh, be here Sunday mornings. I actually have two videos that I have unlisted because when you become known by locals that you're making content, sometimes people get up in your business, and I don't want people to be offended at the things that I talk about, or especially, or what if I talk about something that involves somebody who, even though it's making me miserable, maybe they're benefiting from it. So, of course, I am somehow a threat to them. I don't want repercussions from the things I talk about. So, but there's a video I shot that I haven't posted yet where I'm actually walking outside on a Sunday morning, and you can hear it from like 2 blocks away. Yeah, it's fun living above it. Smoke. Um, I got some smoke. You see, now that's the thing is, I've had people tell me that they have a problem with the fact that I smoke some on camera. But the thing is, my favorite live streamers are smoking and drinking and doing all kinds of things on camera. Now, one thing you are never going to see me do, you're not going to see me take a drink of alcohol because I had my fun with that and I don't do that stuff anymore. All right. And I don't do drugs anymore, even though there are some things that I probably might not say no to, like real ecstasy, in the right circumstances. But you got to know that you got the real thing and stuff. And the last thing I want to do is be a bad influence on somebody else, even though I believe people should be responsible for their own triggers. For instance, I watch TV, and some of the great things I watch on TV, people are drinking like fishes. And sometimes that makes me feel a little uncomfortable, but I have to stop myself and say, they have a right to live their lives. They know what they're doing, they are adults, and free will is a thing. And I might feel that they're harming themselves. I may worry about them. I may be concerned when I see them fall down and get real emotional and get aggressive and things, but it's kind of not my business because it's not my life. At least I know that these things that I put in a pipe and smoke, this is safe, or as safe as any good time is going to be. And it helps to de-stress me. I mean, if you don't know by now how very stressful it is living in this situation, you're living in a real urban environment where now I'm finding people come out through the woodwork asking me about different kind of street drugs and stuff, as if I have a real knowledge of certain things. There's things they're doing now that they didn't do when I was living in Hollywood and doing certain things. Okay, there's dangerous things going on, and so you know, you know what my first blackout was? Old Granddad. That's 114 proof bourbon. Okay, and I took it was a serve yourself bar, and I took a beer stein and put wine and ice cube in it, and I poured this liquor in it, and I drank it. I did an Elvis. I literally was found blacked out, passed out on the throne. Boy, when I was 17. So that was, I should have known. If I had the crystal ball, I would have known, gee, that's a precursor that you might turn into a happy little alcoholic. And so, yeah, I have to leave the alcohol alone. But if you could still do it and you're okay with it, I kind of admire you, because I see people drinking, especially if it's things that I like to drink, tasty drinks. I kind of miss certain things. It was uh, it was fun what I remembered. You see this? Doorbell rang. It was a mailman with my brand new iPad. It's not brand new. It's an iPad 4. And charge it up. So there'll be a video about that. But this computer that I'm filming with right now is still, for the time being, going to be what I film with. But it's going to be good to have other devices, and maybe not to have something big and clunking like this, that I'll be less likely to be mugged when I go traveling. Waking blackouts. Oh, oh man. New Year's Eve. Yeah, New Year's Eve was weird here. Well, first of all, New Year's Eve is the anniversary of my father's passing away, so it's always going to be a complicated day for me. But I was walking around trying to find something to do New Year's Eve here, and I could kick myself because I'm on a couple of email lists, and one of them showed like where the balloon drops was, and different things. Let's see, one of the things that made things tricky around here is they used to have a newspaper called the AC Weekly, and you could get it up and down the boardwalk, the vestibules of various casinos and things, and so you could find out what the heck was going on. We don't get the newspaper delivered, even if we could afford to pay for a subscription. We don't have a safe place to get it delivered, because you can't put it in a mailbox, and if you just set it outside, one of these denizens of the neighborhood would take it. So Caesars, yeah. I was running around between resorts and Tropicana trying to find something. And that's the thing, is it seems like it could be. You see these movies of people, strangers, locking eyes across a crowded room or on a city street, and they find each other, and that's never happened to me here. And it's never happened to me in New York City either, or in Philadelphia, only in Los Angeles, Hollywood, around Los Angeles, and San Francisco. these other places, it didn't happen to me in Phoenix or Tempe. It didn't happen to me when I was on tour with the Grateful Dead. Here I'm totally invisible except to the people that I wish I wasn't invisible to. It's like I can't count how many times I had some gang member type, and that's not what I want. Um, yeah. Trump, I heard some of the rooms have bed bugs, so do check your pillowcases and check everything. One of the people I live with is a gambler, and he occasionally gets comped rooms. So, yeah, I like big cities. I really do. You know what? Do I need more light over here? I think I can pull this, unplug this. I mean, I don't know. It says 83% charged. It says to press home, and I don't know where the home button is on that thing. They didn't come with instructions. It's only 16 gigabytes. I'm probably now. I need to get to Los Angeles. I'd like to be there for 420. But that said, I don't have transportation there, and I do not have housing there, and I would really. I need to cut costs. I mean, I could take a Greyhound, get a one-way Greyhound ticket, but for the cost of a Greyhound ticket, Greyhound is so high now. I could get a computer for that. And I need to be saving money for the school bus that ultimately would give me a place to live. But I need to go out to LA to deal with my storage. It has become unaffordable. And they keep on raising, like every 7 months, they raise my rent. Um, I love playing Texas Hold'em poker. That and crypto take care of my gambling desire. I'm interested in crypto. There's this one site that I'm thinking of migrating my YouTube videos to. I'm not leaving YouTube. I just want to have another place to put my videos in case YouTube kicks me off because I have run afoul of them many times due to my political expression, and there's a lot of concepts we're not allowed to discuss. And I think that's really obscene that they would do that to an American, but the Second Amendment apparently does not apply. And even though we see these video services and social networks as utilities now that really don't have, I mean, YouTube does not really have competition that's as powerful ever since Google bought it out. And Google is the world's largest search engine. If you get kicked off of YouTube, that's a big thing. But I got to do a little bit of dabs yesterday. That was a real treat. But the people didn't have a dab rig, just scraped a little bit off a fingernail and put it in a bowl of crappy weed. I had some dirt weed that somebody grows and sells here apparently, and oh my god, people, I read somewhere that people say dispensary weed, yes, it's expensive, but it's not as good as what you get on the street. I disagree. You can get maybe some good stuff on the street, but you can get crappy ass weed on the street in Atlantic City, especially if somebody says they're selling nickels and they tell you to put both your hands out. That's a bad sign. Happened to me last year. Thing is, I was so happy to get weed because I had funding in like 2 weeks. Okay, I was like, oh man, $5, okay. And the thing is, I can't really afford to spend money on weed now. I can't. I go out with my guitar, and I haven't in a couple of months. It's cold, you know. Uh, yeah. But anyway, this one site called Library, LBRY, also you can put your videos in, and they pay you when you get views, and they pay you in cryptocurrency. So, and I know I have edibles. Edibles don't do a thing for me. I don't feel anything. Now, I have a wallet. What do you call that wallet that you put Ethereum in, or there's a name for it, but it's a special wallet that you use to store crypto in. Anyway, I have one of those, but I don't have anything in it. I know of stories of people that actually did really well with it and then crashed and he lost everything. And I heard that it's very risky. And I don't know if it's a thing that I heard with stocks. The real way to make stocks is not to just do short term, but to ride it for years and years and years and years and years. But stocks are also quite risky, and if you're risk averse, which frankly I am, and of course they say some of it has to do with how old you are too. The older you are, the less risk tolerance you have, which I think there may be truth in that. But I've always been risk intolerant, really. And I've never been into gambling because what turned me off of gambling was I got a $10 roll of quarters and played quarter slots at Caesars when my aunts and uncles from Pittsburgh came to town some years ago. And that roll went fast, went so fast, and that really turned me off. It was something I actually, it said that it was a very special code and not to keep it in a safe place and everything. So I put it where I have my old hard drives and memory cards and all that stuff. I have been packing and packing and packing and packing, and because see, I know it'd be smarter to pack light when you're traveling, but when you're a content creator and you like to change clothes with every outfit, that means I have to have so much more clothes with me. And the thing is, I don't know where my housing is going to be. And I heard that this thing called Airbnb, that's an app that you need a cell phone for. So I can't, unless I can do them with something like that tablet. It's only 16 gigabytes though. I don't think I'm going to be getting a cell phone and cell service by the time I go there. Really, I just don't see it. Because then there'd be a learning curve for that, and at the risk of sounding lazy, I don't want to be worrying about learning a bunch of new skills when I got to worry about going back to a place that I'm very familiar with, but I haven't been in a while, and quite possibly having to live as a homeless individual because I really can't afford to be spending money on housing. I can't. And if they have the tent cities are all over, all over, all over, I have a sleeping bag. If I could sleep near, well, I don't have a cell phone. I have a family landline, but it's in my family's name, and obviously it's not portable. I know this sounds weird. I've never had a cell phone in my life. I've had pagers before. I was an actor in Hollywood before 9/11 went down and everything. And I need to go to LA because I have two storages and the rents are too unaffordable. And if I could go there, and it's real close to Hollywood and Vine. So literally, if I could pitch a tent across the street or on a corner or something, but I have to try to be low profile in a way that I don't want to. I mean, there's my glamorous me, and I don't want people to see me on the skids. But I have friends that live in LA, but I'm not about to. They don't even know that I'm headed out there. I'm not about to ask them for floor space because they got problems of their own. My BFF, she's married to somebody with Parkinson's, and she's got her hands full. Okay, she literally got issues. I can't even imagine how hard that is when you're dealing with a loved one with health issues. I mean, I'm dealing with my mother, and she's got health issues. I have friends who are homeless out there. They're struggling to survive. I have friends that are dealing with people in relationships. They're busy. I am not going to intrude on them, the married people, the people, I don't want to be a fifth wheel. And there's with the internet now, I can find what the current services are. Probably there's probably some of the same places that I had meals when I was squatting and stuff that may very well still be doing things. I want to. My intention is to see. That's why I can't see the point of spending the money on a Greyhound bus. I love them. It's my favorite one. It's one of my favorite ways to travel. And before you ask, no, I can't fly. Even if I wanted, which I don't want to. I don't like flying. I don't have ID, so I can't fly legally anyways. That means I can't take Amtrak. I ordered this fancy backpack. It was a scam offer though, and I never got it. It had things to charge things with. I had some kind of solar power shebang, and all I had to do was pay shipping. I never got it. Part of my holdup on buying cell phones, besides paying the air fee, which I worry about having a bill, is I would mainly be using them. I guess people are using them a lot to create content with. The pictures can be really beautiful on them. But I want to make sure, I want to know how much storage space it is because videos take room to, you know, their data and stuff. But I could live stream with them because I noticed some places even they have Wi-Fi publicly that's not a strong enough signal to go live. Whenever I've taken tablets or my computers on the Atlantic City Boardwalk and they have Wi-Fi up and down the boardwalk, I've never been able to go live. But I remember I used to be able to start at a casino and actually no, I think it'll be easier to get it in California, honestly. Because I'm having a hard time getting it here. I think it'd be easier to get it in California. And if I got only a couple months to get out there, you know. I mean, I would like to, for my different parameters, okay, I let's see, Florida I'd probably like, but they're not too marijuana friendly though. Uh, and the thing is about the South, they got a lot of tornadoes, twisters, and things. I mean, I could see if I could afford to own property and I could build underground so that I could live, have a nice sturdy basement. Most of my house would be the basement, because that's the thing is that I knew a guy that had a YouTube channel and he was a real patriot. He loved Trump, and unfortunately YouTube took him down. But he built himself a bunker, and it was badass. It was big and strong. Oh. Well, oh, okay. I thought you meant a red state because New Jersey, where I'm living right now, it's legal marijuana. But of course, you have to, in order to go into dispensaries, you need ID, which I don't understand. You don't need ID to go into a liquor store. Why do you need ID to go into a dispensary? Well, alcohol is so much more dangerous. You know, I'm not trying to get liquor because I don't drink anymore. I'm not doing the sort of things where, I mean, if you should be checking the papers of anybody, you guys should be checking the papers of not us American citizens. You should be checking the papers of all these goddamn illegal aliens that are being allowed to be snuck in by the current occupier in chief. Um, and I worry about passing through Texas. Texas is a state that I love for a lot of reasons, but I have mixed feelings about the governor. On one hand, I love what he's doing on the border. On the other hand, his stance on abortion is very wrong. I'm pro-choice. I'm not ashamed of that. The whole idea that anybody thinks that somebody has control over a woman's body when she can be the most responsible person in the world, and responsible things still fail. And, having been vulnerable in the hands of abusive relationships and been caught in dangerous situations by bad people, I cannot imagine how anybody can not be pro-choice. So that's one thing where I very strongly veer from my GOP people. That's one thing I enjoyed actually about Biden's speech last night. See, he was talking about Roe and stuff. Why anybody thinks it's okay to force a woman to give birth? That is disgusting. I mean, you don't. I mean, this is what you do to animals in a family farm. You don't treat people like that. And then to criminalize people who decided they're going to travel to a state where it is legal, and then say that anybody that helped them, they're criminally liable. That is disgusting. What kind of dystopian, freakish nightmare is coming to America now? I'm telling you, when we first lost Roe, that really fucked with my head big time. It even made me question whether I keep on voting for this guy, because I'm thinking, you appointed these Supreme Court justices and look what they did. And I actually did not think that they would do it, because who would take away such a basic human right to bodily autonomy, to be safe, to have a safety net as we walk through that tightrope walk of living your life. I don't know, but you know what? Maybe we need to bring some racial profiling back. There is, okay, think about the crime that is done and the statistics on the crime. And you know what our government has been doing? When you catch illegal aliens doing crimes, they automatically label them all as white. Automatically. If that isn't white erasure, I don't know what is. That is racism. That is hatred. And why? To fudge the statistics to support a narrative that they feel more comfortable with, because they don't want to say things that might offend people. They don't want to make people uncomfortable. That's, I think, so much of it. This whole politically correct thing, they don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Now, this is where I got to be careful, because I'm going live. I'm talking to you live now, and YouTube loves to police our thoughts, But this is why I can never be one of these people that follows a party platform exclusively, and they really are married to that, and they have to obey everything. That bothers me. If people don't feel they can think for themselves, like I say, the Pledge of Allegiance, I do the original version. It does not say the under God part, because it originally did not have anything to do with any deity. It originally had nothing to do with, well, you can be considered to be a loyal person pledging your allegiance to your government if you believe in all these other things we do. No, that shouldn't be part of it. It shouldn't be a package deal. If you love your country and you pledge allegiance to your country, which you should, it should not mean you have to believe a whole other things. This is why so many people are calling this a Christian theocracy, because they think that everybody believes the same. And America truly is a very diverse place. Yes, Judeo-Christian culture is the predominant culture, but this is an evolving, interesting culture. But I do believe that America should retain how it was in the beginning. I'm not saying that we should bring back the slavery, we should mistreat the Indians and all that stuff. That's not what I mean at all. I mean, it should be more like it was in the beginning, honestly. You know, things are out of control now, and we don't know. We have before, we used to take for granted that in the public schools, the kids were all inoculated against the basic diseases. You didn't have to worry about polio, measles, rubella, the mumps, all these things, smallpox. We thought that was all been eradicated. It's coming back. We are getting diseases back that we thought were eradicated long ago. And you can't tell me it's not because we have these porous borders. We have people here from every nation on the globe. And it's so unfair to the people who are trying to do this legally. There are people who have been waiting for years and years and years trying to get citizenship. People who are citizens who are trying to get their spouses who are in faraway lands have been waiting and waiting and waiting. And we're getting older and older, and it's not fair. And meanwhile, you got people just coming across. And the people that are coming across here, they're getting exploited horribly. The people that are getting there for a price, they exact their pounds of flesh. And it's the women and the children that suffer the most. It's disgusting. How can you care about human beings and know that encouraging people to come here by that way is encouraging their exposure to such violence? That's where I don't understand. Like take the Catholic Church, for instance. They have NGOs that help the immigrants and everything. Well, why don't they do something to prevent those poor women and girls from being raped? Oh, but they'll probably give birth to babies, they rape babies, and you know what? You'll baptize them Catholic. Yeah. What about women and girls? What about our safety? And people are taking very serious risks coming across here. Thank you. Well, I give a damn. I might not have a college degree, because when I was of college age and everything, frankly, my mind was about the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I figured I would be wasting the time and the money. Let me wait till I'm a little older. And when I feel inclined to discipline myself, then I will do it. And I noticed as I got older, everything got higher in price. Everything did. And I also found out now that they are indoctrinating people in a whole bunch of things that have nothing to do with the basic skills of reading, writing, arithmetic, and the cultural studies, and things are now being perverted. And it's really scary. The things I found out, the colleges here, not too far from where I'm living here in New Jersey, they're forcing people to take the DEI classes, all the white guilt stuff. I mean, I don't have kids, okay? I never thought that that was something that I really wanted to do. Now I kind of sort of regret it. But I realize if I did, I could have possibly fed them with a whole lot of bullshit. Or plus, I was partying a lot. And frankly, my drug use might not have made my chromosomes all that safe. But the thing is, everybody else did it. But it wouldn't have been a practical thing. But really, what they're forcing kids to be taught in schools now, and in California, it's really sad. My mother, she has her master's degree. She was an English teacher. English teacher, I'm educated and master. She held it over me. She had straight A's, all her report cards, and she lauded it over me from the time I was in kindergarten, okay? And so I kind of sometimes felt a little bad about myself because I wanted adventure and excitement, and I wanted showbiz, and I wanted to kill some brain cells and do some things. But it took me when 9/11 happened, and I came back out here, and all of a sudden I had access to a television over the couch that I could put on what I wanted to instead of being stuck with the crap that my roommates in Los Angeles were watching. And in LA, I noticed even in the showbiz circles that I was in, people tend to think very monolithic views on certain subjects. Like politically, when George W. Bush was president, everybody hated him. There's very little room for self thought there. And then, of course, there were the born again Christian people who maybe they would have more the conservative views, political views that I would later go to espouse. But because they had very serious Christian views that were very not what I was believing in. So I didn't relate to them that way. So, but it's interesting that I ended up relating to them more, at least on their political stance. But it's very hard for me to find people that I can agree with on all these things, or even though there's a lot of people that are very, very against pot that otherwise I respect. Dennis Prager hates it. Uh, John Walsh, Michael Walsh. What's the Daily Wire guy? Mike Walsh. Yeah, he's very anti-pot, but I really enjoyed his movie "What Is a Woman." That was he's as far as investigative journalism and things of that nature. He's really great. But it sucks when he talks. He says things that I don't agree with, though. But most of my experience has been in Matt Walsh. Yes, I like him. He's even when he's being kind of ornery, he's kind of mostly he's telling the truth, and it's not always maybe what you want to hear. But I admire him. And the thing is, even though he talks about feminism, and I still consider myself to be a feminist, but not an obnoxious feminist. And I'll admit I'm kind of caught between generations in that I was raised that you should never have to buy your own drink and that you should let the man or whoever pay for you and everything. And I was raised with those expectations. And yet now it seems to be everybody's doing Dutch and everything. And yet there's some people that feel that they want to be chivalrous. And then it doesn't really depend on the gender. And I don't know. I think if you're really poor, you should let them pay. That's where I stand. But then again, for the most part, I tend to be really poor. But every now and then, my ship comes in. But and I need to go to LA because if I could get two things of storages into one, that'll cut my rent in half. And I need to correct my data with central casting. That's in Burbank. And I figure while I'm in LA, I could go to the Hare Krishna Temple. That's in Culver City. At least it was the last time I was there. And I got some of those Indian outfits that I could wear for that. And and weed is legal there. And maybe I will be able to get ID there. I'm thinking I'll go out there with my birth certificate and just whatever. And I'll be able to get some health care there. Even though I have insurance here, it would be easier to. There's things that I cannot get here because, like for instance, I need a dental surgeon, and they're giving me a whole runaround why they won't give me a dental surgeon even though I have insurance for one. But and they don't have any dental surgeons or dentists in the ER. California, they do. So I can get what is needed done there in the ER. I'll wait a while, probably wait twice as long as illegals. But guess what? I need these things done. I had these tooth bone fragments, real thin, tiny, like pins stuck in my gums. They hurt. When I eat certain hard things, they hurt. I'd have a much better smile if I didn't have these things in my mouth. And I could get somebody to take them out in California. Oh, and maybe I could get better glasses made. I got these things. I can't see enough out of them to drive. The reason why you get good vision correction is so that you can see, but also I think to drive. So I'm hoping 3 weeks is enough time for me to get these things done. I know it's going to be a tease for me, and I don't have housing there, and nobody knows I'm going to be there. And I'm thinking if it's so easy to just camp out, so I may just try to blend in with the other bums for a while because I don't have time to fuck around. I don't have money to go throw around on housing, especially if you need ID for housing. I can't help you there. So, and the hostels, I believe you need to be a foreign citizen. You can't be an American. So, uh, I remember where the hostel was. It's across the street from the Scientology reading room on Hollywood Boulevard. At least it was. So, but Hollywood has changed a lot since the last time I was there. It's really kind of sad how much it changed. When I was there in 2006 and 2005, 2005 is when I got my belly pierced. And, but I can't imagine the it's legal. That's so fucking cool. But I'll know a lot of people, so that won't be a difficult thing. And I'm thinking of bringing my acoustic guitar so that I can play for money either on the way or there. But still, I got to think of how I'm going to get there because I know there's couch surfing that site, and I know there's rideshare sites. But the thing is, I don't have a driver's license, so I would not be very useful driving. So anyway, I'm going to cut this short because okay, it's 37 minutes 45 seconds. I'm really tired and fading and probably not the most sharpest tool in the peg or the shed or in anything at this point. But I will say this: I love my Trump, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.